So as you know, we are studying mammals, and as we do with each of our animal studies, we're going to learn about the external parts of a mammal, and our focus is going to be on a horse. We're going to learn about the parts of a horse. So instead of laying out the 3-part cards like you would normally, I'm going to show you the parts of the horse, and then in your packets, you're going to have some work that you can do with that at home. So let's start with our book just the way that we always would. And we're going to start with the first page says, a horse has 4 legs with hooves and a long neck. It is covered with hair and it nurses its young. So we would take then we would find our horse card, and we would match that, of course, with our label for a horse. And we would also match that with the definition, where it says, has 4 legs with hooves and a long neck, it's covered with hair, and it nurses its young. So this is how you would typically lay out your cards. For the purposes of trying to do this at home, we are not going to do it this way because I can't send these cards home with everyone. So I will send a worksheet home with you, but you will need to refer back to the video so that you can see the parts as you're labeling your worksheet. So here's our first one, the horse. Our next part is going to be the head. I'll find that card. Maybe I will find that card. Oh, here we go. So this is the head, and it says the head has the eyes, nose, mouth, and ears. So on your drawing, you will label this part the head. Okay, next we have the ears. The ears help the horse hear, and they are outer ears. The neck. So on your drawing, you will label this part that's in red here, the neck. And notice how long the horse's neck is, and think about, why do you think that they would need such a long neck? The neck connects the head with the rest of the body. Okay. Now, the mane. The mane is the long hair on the back of the horse's neck. The body. The body is covered with hair. It is very strong and is often used by people for aid in work and transportation. So think about, what kinds of work might a horse do? A horse might, we've read about horses pulling wagons in Little House on the Prairie. Horses might pull plows. How can horses be used as transportation? It might be pulling the wagon. It might be riding on a horse. So they need these nice, big, strong bodies. Next, you are going to label the forelegs. Just like our other animals, we've learned about forelegs and hind legs, the fore being in the front, just like your forehead is in front of your head, 4 legs. So on your drawing, you'll label your forelegs. They're the 2 front legs that have bones that are like the bones in our arms. So think about, if you were walking on all 4s, they would have bones like the bones that are in your arms. Next, we have the hind legs. So again, this is like a lot of our other animals. Fore is in the front, hind is in the back. Think about behind. So here are the hind legs. You'll label those on your drawing as well. The hind legs are the two back legs and have bones that are like the bones in our legs. So again, think about if you were on all fours, you would have your arms in the front and your legs in the back. So these are the hind legs. Hooves are hard, horny coverings at the end of the horse's feet. Here are the hooves. You'll label these on your drawing as well. Horse hooves. Have any of you guys ever seen horseshoes or seen anyone putting horseshoes on a horse? Go on their hooves. And finally, the tail. The tail has very long, strong hair. It covers the anus and is often used to swat flies. If you've ever seen a horse swooshing its tail, maybe trying to swoosh flies away. Here's the tail. Here, you'll label this on your drawing. So you will label on your worksheet each of these different parts. You can refer back to the video if you're not sure about a part. And then the way that we will do our quiz, actually instead of me using the cards like we normally do for our quiz, what I'm gonna do is when we Skype or FaceTime with each other to take your quiz on the parts of the animals, we're gonna use this guy. So I will point to the different parts when we get together via Skype or FaceTime, and I will point to a part and ask you, what is this part? It's the body. What is this part here? You're gonna tell me these are the forelegs, the hind legs. I will ask you to identify this part down here. You'll tell me those are the hooves. The tail. Do you remember what this is called? The hair that's on his neck. It's the mane. The neck. You have the head, the ears. So when we do our quiz, I will point to the different parts and you will tell me each part and if you can remember any of the details about each of the parts. We'll talk about forelegs and hind legs. So be ready for that quiz after you've had a chance to do your work. Also, in your packet, I am going to send to you some really cool copies of drawings out of this book. I love this book. I got this book in college. It was part of my human and animal anatomy class, and that class was really about drawing animals. So we learned that if you knew how to draw the skeleton and the muscles of a person or an animal, then that would really help you draw the animal better because you understood what was kind of, underneath the skin and what was creating that form. So I'm going to send to you some different copies of some horse skeleton and skull images from the book. I'm going to make copies of these. These will be in your packet. You can use these to learn more about the parts of the horse, but also practice some drawings. I want to see you guys doing some labeling and doing some sketches of horses and looking at these skeletons. Here, see, here's the top view of the horse. Looking at these skeletons will help you with your drawings, and they're just really interesting to look at. So this will be in your packet as well, and I will talk to you soon about what you've learned about the parts of a horse.